You've seen it in the movies, right? The dream of having your own Jarvis, an AI that doesn't just talk to you, but actually does things for you. Well, guess what? That's not science fiction anymore. Today, we're going to break down the actual blueprint for building a practical AI agent that can be your own personal assistant. Let's dive in. You totally know this feeling. You've got this incredibly powerful chatbot, but when you ask it to do something simple, like schedule a meeting, it just spits out a template for an email. It's like having a genius intern who isn't allowed to touch the keyboard. That's the exact frustration we're going to solve right now.
And this slide right here, this just nails the difference. A chatbot, it's a talker. It gives you information, like a recipe. But an AI agent, it's a doer. It takes that recipe and actually orders the groceries for you. It's the huge leap from just talking about something to actually getting it done.
So how do we build one of these things? Well, it's not some kind of mysterious black box. It's actually a pretty clear engineered system. It has 3 core components that all have to work together. Let's get into that blueprint. First up, you've got the planner. You can think of this as the agent's brain. You give it a big picture goal, like schedule a meeting, and the planner is smart enough to break that down into a logical step-by-step to-do list. It's the strategist behind the entire operation. Okay, so if the planner is the brain, next you need the hands, and that's the tool layer. This is basically a collection of specific tools, things like API access to your email or your calendar that the agent can actually use to carry out the steps the planner laid out. This is what lets it touch the digital world. And this might be the most important piece of the whole puzzle, the guardrails. This is the agent's conscience. Before it fires off that email or books that meeting, the guardrails kick in. They make sure it's following your rules, and crucially, they pause and ask you for approval before doing anything major. This is how you stay in the driver's seat. So we've got the blueprint, the brain, the hands, and the conscience. Now, how do we actually put it all together? Well, the whole build process can be broken down into 4 pretty straightforward phases. And look, it's simpler than you might think. First, just define one specific goal. Don't try to make it do everything at once. Start with something clear, like scheduling a meeting. Second, give it the tools it needs, in this case, access to email and calendar APIs. Third, you tell the planner to create its step-by-step plan. And finally, and this is the critical part, you build in that approval step for any action that actually changes something, like sending a message. All right, theory's great, but let's actually see how this works in the real world. We're going to give our brand new agent its very first task and just watch how the planner, the tools, and the guardrails all play together. Okay, here's our request. It's a simple, super common task, right? We're not just asking for some info, we're asking the agent to actually kick off a whole workflow. So let's see what the planner, the agent's brain, does with this. And there you go. Check out the planner's logic. It doesn't just blindly send an email. First, it figures out who Alex is. Then it drafts the message. And, most importantly, look at that third step, await human approval. That safety guardrail is baked right into the plan from the very start. And this is the moment. Everything comes to a halt. The agent has done all the prep work, but it will not take that final, irreversible step of actually contacting someone without you giving the green light. This is that critical guardrail in action. And what's great is that it doesn't just ask yes or no. It presents this perfectly clear, human-readable summary of exactly what it's about to do. You see who it's going to, the subject line, the body, and the specific action. You know exactly what you're signing off on. So we hit approve, and boom, the agent's tool layer just takes over. The email gets sent, a hold is placed on the calendar, and the task is done. All of that without you having to manually type a single word of that email. Pretty cool? Okay, that was impressive. But building the agent is only half the job. Deploying it safely, that is just as important. You don't just flip a switch and let this thing run wild. There's a responsible path you have to follow. You want to start in what's called shadow mode. That's where the agent just suggests what it would do, and you do it manually. It's a great way to test its logic. Then you move up to supervised mode, which is what we just saw, where it does the work, but you have to approve every single thing. Only then, once you've really built up trust, do you grant it limited autonomy for safe, low-risk tasks. So why go through all this trouble? Well, the benefits are huge. With a supervised agent, you're not just 2 to 3 times faster at your work, you are fundamentally safer. You've embedded your own policies and approvals right into the workflow, and you're using validations at logs to catch those little manual slips and errors that, let's be honest, we all make. And that really brings us to the single most important idea here. The goal isn't to create some system that runs completely on its own, without you. The real goal is to build a partner, a tool that operates with safe autonomy, where you are always the final checkpoint. It's all about empowerment, not replacement. So now you have the blueprint, right? The planner, the tools, and the guardrails. You've got the 4 steps to build it and the smart path to deploy it safely. The only real question left is, what are you going to build first?